Title is right. We start now. The title of the next presentation is Movement, Dance as an The title of the next presentation is Movement, Dance as an Example of a Cultural Expression to Help Increase Sensitivity and Subsequently Improves Integration of the Children from Socioeconomically Disadvantaged Backgrounds. Tina, please.
Hello, so my name is Tina Kuszczak. I come from Slovenia. Right now I'm working in primary school graduates, but before that I was working for more than a decade with the Roma population. So yeah, I'm happy to be here and I'm going to present you some examples of cultural expressions in the field of informal education with the Roma population. So that is the timetable. I'm going to shortly describe the specificity of Roma community in Grosuplje. Then I will list some artistic and cultural expressions. Then I will describe a dance movement project. And at the end, I would like to share with you some stop motion and animation that we did with children. Yeah, Roma communities in Grosuplje is facing social exclusion in terms of living condition, health protection, education, organization and engagement in the wider environment. I'm not going to talk about numbers and statistics, but I would like to present you one of the perspectives how they feel at school, for example. So their mother tongue is Roma language. And that language is really modest, and they have, for many Slovene words, they don't have expressions. So when they enter a primary school, they don't speak Slovenian, or they speak it really poorly, and this is Slovenian school, which does not include Roma language in the school. Then also their parents, most of their parents are illiterate. Most of them do not complete primary school. Most of them, they re-enter the first grade of the primary school, like when they are 6. They do it for 1 year, for 2 years, some also for 3 years. They find it like really difficult to fit in. They don't find friends among non-Roma pupils, and they seem like really visible. For example, children were often telling to me, oh, I'm just getting into the school and I have the impression that the whole school is just staring at me. Yeah, so the school is not an environment, a place where they could cooperate, relax, live with other peers. So actually it's a place where they don't feel good. Also, irregular attendance at school, it's a big problem. For example, girls were often telling to me that in the morning when they wake up, they tell their mother, oh, I have a headache, or I don't know, my stomach is hurting, because actually they don't want to go to school. Yeah, I think that's, why this is not working? But I'm sorry, I just would like to. Okay, then okay, so yeah, that's that. So now I'm going to, so because they are not so skilled socially and linguistically, I believe it's really useful to use artistic and cultural expressions. That's the way they acknowledge themselves. That's the way that the pupils recognize their strengths, and also as educators, we have a possibility to recognize their strengths. So now, yeah, I'm going to present some art expressions or cultural expressions, so like, for example, dance movement projects, then creative writing, sculpturing, storytelling, painting, music, dancing, cultural heritage, collaborating with the different artists. Here is a sculpture, Lučka Kuščak. We were doing some illustrations. We were also cooperating with public spaces. So here down, the picture which is down, yeah, we had an exhibition there, and also in local library. We were together putting, preparing the exhibition. Then we also cooperated with the Slovene Ethnographic Museum. We prepared the exhibition, The Touch of My Door. We were actually questioning ourselves about symbolic meanings of the door. And for that exhibition, we did some illustrations and some sculptures. So yeah, this was the inauguration of the exhibition. Eccola, that's that. Probably you were there in Ljubljana. It's in Kardeljeva ploščad, maybe. Okay, and then we also in 2009, we published a book. It was interesting when I started to work with the Roma community, there was a youngster who said, oh, I would like to publish a book. And then we went in action, we got some funds, and yeah, with a group of youngsters, we wrote a story. Then illustrator Irina Režak did her own illustration, and she skillfully included the illustrations of the children. The specific is that this is the picture book in 3 different languages, in Slovene language, in dialect of Dolenjska region, in Roma dialect of Dolenjska region, and in Roma dialect of the Prekmurje region. So that is that book. You can look at the end. You can also learn some Roma words, because at the end it's a short, really short dictionary. So yeah, now I'm going to present dance movement project workshop. Actually, this is Urša Urbančić and Juri Konjar. They are Slovene contemporary dancers. Actually, first I was cooperating with them in the project Dance Out of Line, where we had inclusive dance workshops in Slovene schools. Actually, we wanted to offer a safe space for children to meet with Urša, to dance with her, and so on. And as I found that activity is really precious and helpful, I wanted to bring them in Roma community. So that was our studio when we did it. Actually, it was not in Roma community, it was in Grosuplje. And that workshop was divided in 4 different parts: introduction, informants, then dance movement activities, and at the end, performance. So here we presented ourselves, and then was informance. So informance is actually, it's a short performance where Urša and Juri introduced themselves through dance, in a creative way, also with some phrases, some words, metaphors. Yeah, actually, for example, Urša, she showed how she dresses, how she drives a car, how she drives a bike. She went also on the floor, and at that point, she was like really vulnerable. And it was interesting while I was like looking at the children, they were like all, oh, wow, what's happening? They were like completely silent and just staring. So yeah, I believe that informance as a performance has a multi-purposes. So as art communicates through the direct experience, and when children observed the artist, so they got a strong feeling of empathy, understanding, and positive attitude. And after the informants, they were like asking questions, oh, how do you do that? And oh, you have a child, you take care of her child. And for example, to Yuri, oh, you do a handstand. So art here, so informants as an artistic experience stimulates curiosity, and we also offered a safe place to talk about it. Then also it represented a learning situation and is one of the most powerful learning situation. I have to say here that so specifically these children really connected the people on wheelchair with a heavy disease like having a cancer because they had that experience in their community. So now at that point when they had a contact with Ursha, they could really feel and see that she's not going to die, I don't know, in 1 or 2 or 3 months, but like she can do everything, she can drive car, ride a bike, and so on. And also, yeah, after watching the informants, children became like really, really sensitive, which, yeah, that's that. And then the third part was different dance movement activities. So we did different exercise, like for example, mirroring, discovering the place with closed eyes, for example, glute part of the body, dancing with different parts of the body. Yeah, different things. And also in that part, children had an opportunity to dance with Ursha, which was really precious. And they could also realize that, for example, her wheelchair is not a gadget for her, but in a way it's a part of her, you know, like to say her legs. So they could also really use her wheelchair to dance, to move, to communicate with, to touch. So yeah, for most of them, this was a completely new context. And through this context, we open a space to develop skills, like, for example, communication, imitation, like imitating different movements, then organizing themselves, planning, experimentation, and so on. And actually, yeah, these are the skills that we need now. Yeah. So here I put some quote from Kroflic. So yeah, I believe that through this activity, the process provides a space for facing the multiple reality of completely unknowable words of others. Also for children, they get to know completely different words of Ursha and Yuri, and also for the mentors, they were like, wow, they are functioning like that. It was, yeah, interesting also to hear their experience. Okay, and now at in the last part, we were working on a dance sequence, on a performance. Yeah, it was really nice actually while they were doing that. Yeah, sorry. So yeah, actually the goal was not to learn about to learn perfect choreography, but it was really like to offer a safe space where they for exploring dance and expression through movement and dance. It's interesting. Here I would like to quote Merleau-Ponty, who is saying that children summarize themselves and their world through their exploration of movement. So the subject and his world are connected through dance, which I believe also, yeah. And it was also really interesting to observe Yuri with a group of boys. Boys were really inspired by Yuri as a male dancer and a male pedagogue, and they became like really, really, really physical. And it was a really nice communication that they had. Okay, and the really important thing is that, so an important aspect of the preparation and presentation of the performance is also to enable children to stand out in front of the children, in front of the mentors, to present their movement sequence, and at the end to take the applause and to really receive it, and to stand and receive the applause. This is really meaningful for specifically that part of the group who is really afraid to acknowledge themselves, and yeah, and there is another quote that is telling quite the same thing. Okay, yeah, I believe that artistic experience is a transformative experience and as an experience that through personal relationship influence the development of social skills, pro-social motives, and consequently ethical awareness. Then I would like to, before looking at that animation, I put it here a quote from Rabiti. Art means to have more languages, and more languages mean different ways of looking at the world. It means the skill to defamiliarize situations, daily events, as well as objects. Look at the same. So look at the different representation of the same objects, for example, also around the school. So we would like our children not to stop at the first impression. We want them to have more images of one thing, a wealth of images. And now, yeah, I would like to show you also this. So we did a stop motion animation. I believe this was in 2014 or 2015. And also here, the children were the creator of each part of making. They did the story, they did sculptures from the clay, they were animating them, they also made a soundscape, they also recorded their sound. It's not like a technical and visual, like perfectly done, but it's something that is really theirs. And since then, we were like watching that film once or twice per year. And it's really nice to observe the children, how they feel good when they look at them, at it. It's really like, yeah, they feel like really proud. And while at the beginning they were like, oh, no, I don't want to look that. I don't want to hear my voice. I don't want. But after years, that's changed. And it's really interesting to observe that. So, yeah. I hope now, eccola. It's a 5-minute video, and I can also, if someone would like to see that.
Wow, kako lepo je v gozdu. Kako lepo živijo ptice, ko bi vsaj ljudje živeli tako.
This is in Slovene language, but then the other part is in Roma language.
Kdo si ti?
Srce, ki posluša srčne želje.
Želiš slišati tudi mojo željo?
Da.
Želim si, da se ljudje v moji vasi ne več kregali. Zdravo, zvezda Suhine. O, žirafa, palma hilje čeljaš u resnicini, morino pomozini romenge. Onda pa sledin kao drug, ki cedi samorogo. O samorogo, motha manga sarloke pomozini romenge ki plako oše. Odgovoriš, a izđani zlatnu roža, kibarjovi riba kodoveš. Kada žaha podrom Angle, reseha matuli. Mek tuke o pomozini alači zlatnu rožu. Matuli, gled uterod. Zares, sora bine. Rado bijala zlatnu roža. Jekar zares hikju zlatnu roža. Leđa tuha po muzini alači zlatnu roža. Janus rodim, zlatnu roža. Roža. Hinjas tu zlatnu rožu. Tu na hinja zlatnu rožu.
Hik, roža bez bodinča.
Od na hinja zlatnu roža.
Sukeren hak.
Želinu po muzini čajorjake, a loke po muzini da peroma dolakaru naseli nečno večakoš.
Joke enostavna stvari želja, a podoba našti od vakeru. Lako tuke podarinu, zlatno iskra.
I sukerava meni zlatnu iskraha.
Kada osa par vindi, onda džansa.
Mothav. Katra pastorosa. Cisnici mangini pomus. Sukerava kala hazatno ha iskra. Šukar. Maturi vida. Meni zlatnu iskrahili. Lako zathare našu zlatnu iskra. Šukar. Jak? Sakija. Av mutava vaduki. Roža mangedijan zlatnu iskra, da zatharama jak dovođa romantik. Kalaha zlatnu iskraha jesmo zares zatharjani. Jak dovođa romantik.
That's that. Time for questions? Yeah. If you have some questions, please.
How long did you, how many days do you have to do all the project?
Which one? Which one?
The
The
movie.
movie.
From the start?
Okay. I don't remember exactly, but I would say that we were like writing for a story for 4 days, for example, because we did it with different groups. And then photo shooting, we did like 3-4 days per 3 hours. And then also soundscape and dialects, dialogues. Yeah. Altogether, I would say like 2 months. And then the technical work. Yeah.
After 2 months, technical work.
I would say something like that. For example, if we had like 2 or 3 times workshop with children, and
Children were in the school or
no, after school in Roma community, yeah.
So you could go there
Yeah.
1-2 times a week.
Yeah, something like that, or 3, it depends, yeah. It depended.
So the technical work was not made by children.
No,
Microphone coming up.
Okay, I'm just repeating the question. So the technical, the editing work was not.
they did photos.
Yeah.
They were like doing audio, like talking to the microphone. But then afterwards, there were some other people who were like, yeah, did the other technical work, yeah.
Thank you.
And they were also like translating from Slovenian language to Roma language and so on, yeah.
Thank you. I have another question. I know that it's very hard to integrate Roma children in formal education. We have the same problem in Greece. My question is, do you think that all the activities you showed us, which were very interesting, do you think you managed to keep them at school? What were the long-term results?
Actually, it's really hard. I would say that this is a really long-term process. And I believe that some of these children that were presented here are already parents. And I believe that they are going to really, that they have a different attitude to school. Yeah, so that's that. But I think that here the most important thing is that they acknowledge themselves, so that they see that other schoolmates in school, they are looking at the video, and they find it like nice and interested. And for example, and when we were, for example, exhibiting in a local library, they felt like, wow, we did that, and other people, like, they were like, they were like grateful for this. They admire that. Thank you for that word.
So today, how old are these children that took part in this?
In
the movie, for example.
In the movie, for example, the girl at the beginning who was lying on the floor, she's now 17, and she has a daughter, 2 years old. But she was like really successful at the school. But when she was 8, when she was in the 8th grade, which is like, oh my God, she came to the 8th grade. It was really something, wow, how she managed. Her mother got a cancer. She died, and she got married, and now she has a child.
May I just use the same microphone to just, instead of the other microphone, just adding to the comment, is that it might be easy to think that it's difficult to integrate them to the school, whereas thinking maybe that the schools as they are today in our society are not fit for all types of students. That might also be a perspective, that the schools have to change to, as you show, when you change approach and methods and activities, then maybe more types of students would fit into the program of the school than what we traditionally think of how a school should be. Yeah.
Thank you for that thought.
Did you have a...
No, that's what I meant.
You have to have the microphone.
No.
Where is the microphone? We lost it. Well, because they're recording. He's coming. He's coming. Now it should be important.
No, that's what I meant yesterday with inclusion. Then Marco explained me that it's different in English, but that's what I meant. Inclusion means that you change the context to be a safe space for the people, and you don't have to integrate that person to that path. You change the path so it's good for everyone, even for disabled people, for example. We talk about inclusion and not integration for that reason. That's what I meant yesterday.
Yeah. Great. Thank you. Thank you, Tina. Good. Moving on, as you see, all the presentations yesterday and today, workshops, everything has to do with including students in different ways and activities, that they use their whole body, that they use their whole language repertoire, etc. So the very last presentation we have is titled Museum in the Classroom by Andreea Perakis from Primary School of Litija, Slovenia. The floor is yours. Where are you? There you are. Okay, we'll fix the presentation.
And I can move it alone, or? No. Okay.
Or do you have
Is it?
clicker?
Tina?
Marco, non ce l'ho io questa roba qui, è lì su quel computer.
A si ti kleper tiskala naprej? Aha, ok, no problem. I will do it here. Ja, ja, ampak oni pravijo, da bojo dali. Alone? Alone? Ok. Ja, ja. Ok. No, no, it's all right. Sorry, sorry. Because yesterday was, yeah, different way. That's why I was asking. Okay? No? Okay. I'm Andrea Žbogar-Perakis. I'm coming from Slovenia, and I'm a teacher right now at primary school of Litija. I'm historian and ethnologist, and in the beginning, when I started to teach, I was teaching in secondary school. So later, I did not get a job like historian and ethnologist, and I was working with smaller children in the afternoon activities to prepare them for next day lessons. So there I need to change my mind and to start to use different mythology. So I start, thanks God that I'm as I am. I like arts, so I use a lot of music, dancing, singing, drawing, painting, and shadow puppet theater. I learned a lot, so it was really a good experience for my real job, as I got it later like historian and ethnologist at primary school of Litija. I realized how important it is to be close to the children. It does not matter which age, that I can understand them and they can open themselves. So all these years I was working with children from different cultural environments. In Slovenia mostly we have pupils from former Yugoslavia republics, mostly from Bosnia and Herzegovina, Kosovo, and then as well from Macedonia, and last years they are coming as well from Serbia. At our school we have some children as well from mixed marriages, for example, Yemen, Argentina, we're very exotic, Dominicana, Poland, I think so, that these are mixed families. So when I read toolkit, OpenEYE toolkit, from all the activities, as I read about, I choose the one as it is actually known for historians and ethnologists. This is a museum. But I was really glad to read it because I found myself inside and I said like, wow, I'm on the right way. I was already do this and that, not properly as it is on instruction, but short parts at my lessons. So still now in my lessons I use movie, not only documentary movie, general movie, but short parts, still 10 minutes, or I'm using a lot of music. And at ethnology lessons, I'm using as well gastronomy and cinema education. Ethnology lessons are elective subject. It's elective subject, so it's more, I have much more freedom. It's more easier to change the curriculum. When I started with this activity, museum in the classroom, I decided to do it a little bit my way, not exactly like as it is written. I was very democratic, and I said, like, I need volunteers. And I focused the activity on my ethnologists. They were not 12 years old, as it is in the instructions. They need to be till 12. They are older. So I did not mention nothing to their parents. So they managed it alone. They were volunteers. They decided what they would like to bring. And then we gathered. And those, as they were volunteers, and that day, when we had a lesson, I went to the room where we have children waiting for the bus. I asked them, would you like to come to listen? So we have another volunteers. They ask their friends, I ask the children waiting for the bus, and we have as well a volunteer listeners. So then it happened. They wrote down the names of the subject in their own language, and in Slovenian, if they knew the translation. Then I start to communicate among them that the listeners, they need to guess what is this subject for and why this schoolmate brought it. So it was like chattering, dealing with these subjects, learning more about, nice atmosphere. So at the end we made as well a small exhibition near the window. It was for a short time because also the other children and teachers are coming to this classroom. But we made photos, and we made a photo exhibition on the corridor at the school. Not a lot of words, but the subjects. And I saw them, the others, going there, observing what was going on and asking that the communication was going on among the children at the school alone, without me. They need to find the person to tell them about. So later, I decided to make it again, exactly with the instruction as it is, as they are in the toolkit. So these are children, this is 6th class. We have 3 6 classes, A, B, C. And because they're 12 years old, I decided that I need to inform the parents to get the subjects, otherwise it won't be, I know, because I'm 29 years teacher, then when more younger they are, they will forget, they are not interesting about. So I wrote an email to all their parents, and I explained them what is going on, what we need. They need to talk about, they need to find a subject, they need to talk about it, and to represent their culture, heritage, connecting with that subject. So it happened. As you can see here, the first 2 and some others among, they were without. They did not bring it. They forgot. They said they forgot. I don't know what happened exactly, but they forgot. Some of them, my instructions were pure, and I know that I gave right these instructions, but they brought the sport requisites, balls and helmet. So it was very interesting museum. And then I said, like, what is going to be now with all these strange subjects in this classroom museum? And of course, then I use all of them. I mean, also those as they were without. They were the first, as I asked them, tell me about the subject, why your schoolmate brought it. So for the sport requisites, it was obvious. They knew, she is a football player, and that's why. And then I said, yeah, but where is now tradition? What can we do now with the heritage? They were so clever, and they said, Slovenians, we are very good at sports. okay, I said, if this is an interpretation what I want, I take it. So now I don't know if I think so. They did not ask their parents. Their parents, they did not see the email or something, and they just wanted to show themselves what they're doing, like their hobbies. Yeah. Who not brought a subject? I can't. And it was approximately the same at all 3 classes. So altogether, it was 1/4 did not bring from different reasons. But I was quite satisfied. It was the way that I was able to work. There were enough subjects. So then we started. They asked, they put their subjects on the table, and they put nearby the name of the subject, and then we start again like before, that as schoolmates they need to say why this subject and for what. And then again, there were so many different subjects. For example, there you can see it's a dry salami. Yeah, we have a lot of fun. It was really like, wow, now it's going to be a good lunch. So, and we were all waiting. I was waiting as well. What they're going to tell about? I mean, and Luca said afterwards, he explained, we have a pig farm, and we produce a lot of different kind of sausages and other things. And the pig farms in Slovenia are known, and as well we are very known in winter to produce a lot of sausages. So he connect the family business with the tradition. I mean, afterwards it was quite all right. I mean, I said like, oh, good. I'm an ethnologist, so ethnologists we like to eat. So however, Lauro's parents, they really prepared him for what he brought. He brought this, it's a scarf or cap from traditional Slovenian dress, one of traditional Slovenian dresses. And you see, he has a paper in front, and he was totally prepared. And he explained that his mom and dad are folklore dancers, that folklore dancing is the only way to see Slovenians dancing real Slovenian music, to hear and to dance. It's only at folklore groups, otherwise we are not dancing anymore. And that this is a cap, and it's very old embroidery on. It's a new cap with an old embroidery. Then we asked him, so are you going to keep the tradition? And then he said, I'm not sure yet, I don't want to dance. But the instructions were listened here in this story. Then these are all from the same class. Luna, she started to explain about Serbian money. She's about 3 years at our school, and she's not very good at Slovenian Slovenian language. And then Angela, she's from a mixed marriage. Her mom is Serbian and her father is Slovenian. And she was the one to explain her heritage with religion. And then it's Luka. He brought the woolen socks. They're typical Serbian woolen socks, although that all we know woolen socks. But they're typical for Serbia. And then suddenly it happened that they wanted to be on the photo together. And I said, yes, of course, because I photo all of them. And they gathered together, and then suddenly you can see Angela with 3 subjects. For her was very difficult to decide for one subject. And then suddenly she opened the bag and she started to put more and more and more out. and the flag, and Serbian flag, and it gets like a whole story at the classroom. All they were glad. Maybe you can see the girl from the back making like, yeah, that's good, we enjoy, we can see a lot. And at the end, when we made an evaluation, they said, all of them, they said like, for the first time we saw a Serbian flag, and for the first time we saw Serbian money. So it was really like a tough group to manage, to explain about their culture. Then David brought a bottle with something. All they knew the bottle, but no one could guess why he brought this bottle. So David wrote down Orehovec. I knew that this is prohibited. It's alcohol liquid. But I left him because no one else knew that inside it's alcohol. So, and I was like, wow, what he's going to tell about this bottle with brandy. And then he started, I mean, all they said like, bottle, why he brought bottle? And then he said, we are fruit growers, we have fruits, we dry fruits at home, and again, family business, and we produce a lot of brandy. And this is a certain one to put walnuts inside, and then live out of this. So, and then he said, producing brandy, it's well known in Slovenia. It's also like a Slovenian heritage. So again, I was quite glad about his interpretation of the subject. So then Jan, he couldn't understand exactly the instructions, so he was very proud, and he brought a partisan cap. So no one knew what he brought. It's a cap, but who were partisan? No idea, because it's far away history for them, and we are going to teach about it at the last class. And then he explained about his grandpa, but afterwards he was a bit lost because no one said that it's something special, and he was so proud of it. So also this happened. Maybe he connected, because I'm history teacher, that this is the way, but the instructions were not on this way. Here we have a lot of fun. Anya, she brought a clay pot with a strange shape. Then we put as well, because they started to say, oh, it's a lemon juice, how I need to say, lemon juice squeezer, yeah. And you can see her, she was like, making like this, waiting what schoolmate she's going to tell. And all they said like, this is for lemons. And then she made like, no, this is to bake a chicken. And then I said, also me, I saw something like this for the first time in my life. And I'm an ethnologist. Wow, I said, this is a subject. And we laugh a lot. We really have fun. And then I said, like, and what about heritage? And then she said, yeah, we have a lot of clay pots. Pottery work in Slovenia, it's well known. We have a lot of them at home, but I decided to bring this one. And then I said, but I never ever saw one like this in Slovenia. And then she said, like, I don't know, my grandma has many, and I decided for this one. So we still don't know from where is this clay pot. I'm going to learn about. These are photos from 3 different classes, A, B, C, and the children, they are from Bosnia and Herzegovina. And it's so funny because nearly all they brought jezvas, the coffee pot, coffee to make, a pot to make coffee. It's from copper, originally from copper, but it was nothing special for the others because all in Slovenia we have this type of pots, but they are not from copper. They are from other materials, but all we make Greek coffee. Bosnian coffee if you want. Yeah, I will explain afterwards why I'm talking like this, because here I see a colleague observing what's wrong now. So many coffees you have. Yes, the Balkans are very, very dynamic. The girl, she brought a scarf, Marama. She put on her language down the name Marama. It's a scarf for praying. And again, she explained her heritage, her culture through religion. And this is a girl that her parents, they split, they divorced, and then it's kind of her pain, I think so, because she brought 2 subjects. And the notebook, it's from her mom, and we have a habit in Slovenia, the ladies, we like to, by hand, to write the recipes in notebooks. So she brought her mom's recipe notebook and her father's pot to drink mate tea. Her father is Argentinian and her mom, she is Slovenian. Yeah. At the end, we gathered, and I asked them, what did you like? What did you see for the first time? What it was interesting, how much you learn about different cultures. And I gave them also a piece of paper to answer me 2 questions. So the first question was, what did you like about the activity? So 56% that it was interesting subject. Am I all right? Yeah, it's a little bit difficult. And then 18% learning about own other culture. This was actually a goal to reach, but we did not, so does not matter. I think it was quite all right. 19% interesting and funny. This was really interesting and a lot of fun. And 3 times 2% nothing, I don't know. Everything, okay? And the next question, what would you change if were to do it again? Nothing, 53%, all they should bring a subject, yeah, all they should bring a subject, it's 30 or something. I would like to bring another subject, so many of them, they realized that they made a mistake somehow. No, it was not a mistake, it was a lot of fun, but they realized that they couldn't catch the instructions. So, and then 4% it was empty, they didn't know what to answer, and 3 times 2% I would like to change all, I don't know. And activity should last longer. This is really 45 minutes as we have lessons in Slovenia. So, but if there are more than 20, and if they bring a lot of them subject, you don't have time to speak and to have more fun. So this I realize as well, because in 1 class there were more, and at 2 classes there were less pupils. At that class I need to be like to rush, yeah, to finish the lesson. So, food. Lunchtime? Okay. Blanca told yesterday that we had culinary bazaar at our school. It was a project. But I'm using a lot of gastronomy at my ethnology lessons. Ethnologists without food, no go. For example, this is an activity when we had cinema education. We watch from Saudi Arabia movie Green Bicycle. We talk about Arab culture, Then we gathered different kind of recipes, and we choose what we are going to prepare in 2 hours. It means 90 minutes in our school kitchen. And then we serve it as well on the floor, as they saw in the movie, how they eat on the floor in Arab countries. And they enjoy so much, they didn't want to leave the kitchen. And I had a train to go back home. So, and now I think so we are hungry as well. I don't know. But gastronomy, it's always very good language. I got a lot of recipes from mothers. The children talk about, they came later to tell me, for example, oh, that recipe we made this weekend and we ate, and it was like a good atmosphere at home. So it's always nice to sit down, chattered, eating and drinking. Okay, that's it. Hvala.
Okay, so I have a question for Andrea. It made an impression on me, that boy who brought the Partizan Cup. I think it's very good to demonstrate how sometimes children may not get the right instructions for the activity. However, that child was very proud of the object he brought. How did you manage it so that he didn't feel bad about himself? Or in fact, for the Partizan Cup, because it's an important part of the Yugoslav history, yes?
Not only Yugoslav, not only Yugoslav history. Yeah, we did not have time that I couldn't explain her. It's a lot to tell about that part of history. So then they were like, yeah, curious what's going on. And then I said, listen to me, this movement was very known in Italy, Greece, ex-Yugoslavia, Poland, and so on. So we are going to talk about, but now it's not the right time. We are going to talk about it in 9th class. I couldn't, it was no time to explain them. And they're really small, they're 12 years old. And now, before we knew everything, we had each week movies at our TV when we were Yugoslavia, but now they can't see, rarely they can see certain movies, partisan movies on our TV. So it's far away history right now for them, yeah. It was difficult, yeah. But no, he was all right.
But they do learn it at school, right?
Sorry?
They do learn history at school?
Yes, yes.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, and we have, in our curriculum, it is, we have the partisan movement, and afterwards as well, after, how I need to say, the problem when they killed so many, the partisans, I mean, the communists, they killed so many not communists after Second World War. Everything is in a curriculum, for my opinion, very all right. Yeah.
Thank you. Well, one more question. I don't know if this occurred in your case, but have you thought what's going to happen in case two children bring a same or similar object and each claims to be in their own heritage? Because as you said, the Balkans are a very dynamic area. So you showed before a musical instrument, Albanian, called kifteli, that looks very close to what we call in Greece baglama. What happens when you get this kind of situation where somebody presents something, oh, this is Albanian, no, this is Greek. No, this is Bosnian, no, this is Serbian. How do you think you could manage it at that time?
That music is worldwide. Music is worldwide. So it's no, for food, music, dancing, there are no borders. There are no borders. So when I was in Greece at the school in Athens, for example, we were dancing together, and my schoolmates, the students, they were as well from Albania, from Bulgaria, from Armenia, and I was really the last one to dance because this rhythm for me was strange. Now it's not anymore. But the girls from Albania, they were dancing like this immediately. So this, yeah, exactly. And as well, Turkish and Greek music. And
microphone.
No, I was thinking perhaps it's a good opportunity to explain that there are no borders between cultures.
Exactly.
Okay, we share
Exactly.
things. Yeah,
Exactly.
Microphone.
That's what we said when we had the same project with the music and the dances. We had to find the similarities and the differences. So it was a very good opportunity to see that we are very close to many things. The roots are very close. So there are more things that make us
together.
Yeah,
and
not
before
apart.
there were no borders, now there are borders, but the music, food, they're going around. Okay.
Thank you, Andrea. Very interesting to see how this plays out in sort of real life, the activities that we've designed. Just one, so including the unexpected consequences, like some children don't understanding the instructions or being maybe too shy to bring an object. I'm not sure what happened there. And this would be very valuable, that kind of feedback for us to adjust the descriptions of the activities, perhaps the instructions. What do you think could be done from the teacher's side to make the instructions clearer and to make sure to involve all students? One possibility could be to model the activity so that the teacher first brings an object themselves.
Or we have 1 week time. This was 1 week time as I send a letter to the parents, and in 1 week time they need to bring it. But I did not have any place to, for example, with ethnologists, we stored them. They were bringing them whole week and we stored them because I knew there are not that many. Here there were 41 at the group, even more, but there were some, they were not at the school that day. So maybe it's good like to store the subjects and again to tell them about maybe to collect the subjects the whole month and then to do the activity, to reach all. But then we need more time, not 45 minutes. Okay.
Sorry, one last
thing.
Very quickly. Did you exhibit, because what you ended up with is an actual exhibition, right?
Yeah.
Did you exhibit this exhibition to all the school?
No,
No.
The free classes, no. Okay. Actually, I was thinking, because
do you think it would
it's
be a
my
good idea?
field, but it's very difficult at our school. It's such a new and no space, and I don't know where to put it, really. It's like a hospital. Sorry.
Thank
It's
you.
my opinion.
And I'm sure there are more comments and questions, but we meet in breaks, we have lunch together, we have dinner together. It's possible to talk more about the workshops and lectures, of course. So, there's supposed to be a roundtable sum up of the whole conference. Can we use one of the rooms we were having workshops in, where we can sit in a circle and everybody can see each other? We try to be quick in that round, and then there is lunch after that. So we'll meet in one of the conference rooms. Which one, Marco? The first one or second one? Second one, the last one, the inner room. Yeah. See you soon.